What's up, guys? Today I'm talking about my top 3 favorite books that I read from 2019, what I took from it, and what you can actually take and apply to your business, whether you read them or not. Check it out. Hey guys, this is Logan Shinholser with Contractor Growth Network, and today, even though you only see 2 books, because one of them I read an audiobook, I'm walking you through the top 3 books that I read for 2019. Now, I'm a huge fan of learning and understanding and educating myself, which is exactly probably your mindset too, because you're watching a video just like this. So let me walk you through my top 3 favorite books. And one of them I read, and the other 2, even though I actually have a book for one of them, I listened on audiobook because I am not a reader by nature. I was terrible at reading. My mom actually, I remember in high school, sent me to a place to actually learn how to read better because I had such trouble with it. So I'm not a reader. So if you're not too, that's okay. But the first book that I want to talk about, you actually need to buy the book and read it. This thing is thick. I think it's actually, if I look at it, it's like 675 pages. So it's a lot of reading. Now, it's a book called Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. Now, if you don't know who Tim Ferriss is, he also wrote like the 4-Hour Body, the 4-Hour Work Week. He's a big podcaster. He's kind of trippy, but he's brings a lot of good stuff to the table. Now, what Tools of Titans is this is a book that he took all of his podcasts that he's ever done, and he interviews awesome people. So he'll interview, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, which if you didn't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger made all of his money in real estate and actually being a mason. Then you'll learn that in this book, right? So he'll interview somebody like that. He'll interview Tony Robbins. He interviews all these big time people. Then he summarizes his big takeaways into this book. And each person that he interviews, he summarizes in anything from a 1-page to like an 8-page summary, and he pulls out the best information. So for me, I took away a ton of stuff. I've actually read this thing twice this year. I gifted this book to a lot of clients of mine, other contractors who are trying to learn and get better. And all of them that have actually sat down and read it, they practically read it from cover to cover because they loved it that much, because it's so bite-sized, and everybody says the same thing of, oh, I don't read. And then when I bought them this book, they understood why I got it for them in physical form, okay? So one of the biggest things I took away from it was one of the guys in here, his name is Scott Adams. He is the one that creates the comics for Dilbert, the comic strip. Now, what he talks about is if you're gonna be the best in the world, then that is your unique selling proposition. That's your claim to fame. If you're not the best in the world, not the best in your area, in your specific trait or skill or industry, then you need to be at least in the top 25% in multiple things. And the way he explains it is he says, look, I am not number 1 for artists, or like artistry and stuff like that and drawing, but I'm in the top 25% compared to the rest of the world. And on the flip side, he said, I'm not the funniest guy out there. I'm not a fantastic comedian, but I'm in the top 25%. So when I combine top 25 of comedian, top 25 of being an artist, that works well for doing comic strips, which is why he's done so well. Now for you, and this is something that I apply to my own business, is I'm not number 1 in marketing, and I know that. And I'm not number 1 in communication transparency, but I'm easily in the top 25% of both of those things, and that's kind of my claim to fame, is that, if you want 1 billion leads, there's probably someone out there that can do it for you, but that's not me. But if you want somebody who can get you a good amount of leads or a good amount of branding and all that stuff, and somebody that is going to communicate well, I can do that. And that's kind of how you should position your company as well. So unless you're literally number 1 in your space, in your area, make sure you focus on being the top 25% of a few different things. Here's a little fun or not so fun fact that I learned from this Tools of Titans book. When you graduate high school, you already use up 93% of the in-person time with your parents. So what that means is if you're out there and you have kids and you're working all day long, you're watching YouTube videos instead of hanging out with them, just know that by the time that they grow up and they graduate high school, 93% of the face-to-face time that you get with them is already gone. And most likely, the kids don't even remember half of that 93%. So make sure that you're actually spending time with those that love you and that you love, because once they're out of high school, you've only got 7% of face time left. So Tools of Titans, you're gonna have tons of different pieces of value come at you. You'll love it. Tim Ferriss, buy the physical book because you can literally open it up to any page, any story, read that. It'll take you 10 minutes and you're done. Book number 2, it's a classic. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, I listened to this on audiobook, and then once I finished it, I went back through it again and had the physical book and had somebody read it to me as I read this physical book. In this book, I've been actually through Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People sales training before. And I didn't take it that seriously because I didn't really care about that stuff. Because I thought, oh, this is general, this is basic, I get it. He's got so many solid principles in this book that it's incredible. There's a reason that this thing is timeless. The examples that he uses in this book are from like the gangsters of like 1920. So that's how old school this is. But for me, what I gleaned from this, my biggest takeaway was, instead of going for the negative, go for the positive in people. And what you're doing in that sense is you're giving people shoes to fill. For example, with one of our clients, we needed some videos from them. And we knew there's gonna be about 30 different videos that they were gonna send over to us. And one morning we saw that there was only 5 in the folder that they sent over. So instead of saying, hey, there's only 5, where's the rest of them? We went for the opposite and went for the positive and said, hey, thank you very much for sending the 5 videos over. And then they go, oh wow, what do you mean there's only 5? Because we didn't just put them in a corner. We thanked them for doing the very small amount that they've done in a very just general, generous manner, being nice, and then they realized their own mistake. And then later on, when we told the client, hey, by the way, this is what we did to get you to send us the rest of the videos, they kind of laughed about it and then they got, but that's what happens when you work with Full Sail Marketing. Hit the like button. So huge thing with that is go for the positive in people. There's so many different good takeaways in this. Make sure that you check this out. It was such a good book. I loved it. It was awesome. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I guarantee you've heard of it before, and if you haven't, go get it. Number 3 was a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. That was also another audiobook that I listened to, but I actually went online and I Googled just Gino Wickman Traction, and there's like a book report somebody wrote that they have their own Spark Notes for it. And that's actually the system that I operate my business on. It's a business book. It's business centric, so it's all about systems and processes. But after I read the book and did the stuff that they told me to do, I now have a written process for just about every aspect of the business. We have checklists for everything now. If somebody says, hey, what's your unique selling proposition? How are you different? I now know how to answer that. We also have a company guarantee, right? And what a company guarantee is, which is probably one of the coolest ones, coolest things I learned from this book, is that pick a problem in the industry that you're in as a whole. So if you know that there's a certain problem that everybody else faces, and this is why prospects don't move forward with you because they're afraid that the same thing is going to happen to them, flip it around and make that a guarantee. And here's what I mean. For me, in the world of marketing, there's 2 real problems. One is you're not getting leads, and 2 is there's terrible communication. Now, when it comes to lead generation, there's a lot of things that I can't control. If you're a remodeler and you get a 1-star review, that could totally throw everything off from a marketing perspective. And I can't control, I can't guarantee you'll get 50 leads per month, but but the other side of things is communication. There's a lot of terrible communicators in the world of marketing. So I said, how do I make that a guarantee? I can't guarantee you'll have good communication because that's a very subjective thing. So what we do here is we actually, at the end of each month of working with a client, we'll send you over a video of us recapping what we've done for you this month, how it's all going, things like that. And we can guarantee that. I can guarantee that I will send you a video recapping everything that we did last month and talk about how it went, what didn't go so well, and what next month looks like. And what I'm doing is I'm tackling that communication issue, but I'm giving you a black and white guarantee. So that's one of the biggest things that I took from this. So let's say, for example, if you're a painter, a lot of people are nervous that you're not going to finish on time. So if you know that you're really good at finishing on time, you can make your guarantee, hey, I guarantee that we'll finish this project on time, or else blank. And if you hit that every time, you got nothing to worry about, but what you're doing is you're leaning into something that you already do that the rest of the industry has a problem with, and you're making that your claim to fame, and people will love you for it. So, Gino Wickman, Traction, for me, out of everything, it taught me a ton, but that guarantee is big. Number 4, like button. There's not a book on this, but it's just something that you got to do. If you took anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button and check out those 3 books. All right, Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, Traction by Gino Wickman, and definitely read Tools of Titans. Because the stories are so short that if you're driving and you're not paying attention, you're gonna go through 3 different amazing quote-unquote podcast interviews that the guy had, Tim Ferriss, and you're gonna resonate, or none of it's gonna resonate. So check it all out, hit the like button. Hope you had a great 2019. Thank you.